It's a brand new Monday and the final one in the perfect month of February. Welcome to another edition of The Gliders. It is, the 23rd day in the month of February, and you know what we're doing this month? We're giving love. We are spreading love, and it's love from me to you and everyone who is joining us for the first time and returning viewers on the show. My name is Joy Ojablu. But everybody calls me Euphoria, and I'm welcoming you to what is promising to be a very engaging edition of The Gliders. I am always never going to walk alone. I'm not a Liverpool fan. If you don't know, now you know. But I am joined by my friends in the studio. First of all is someone that we rarely stay on the same set nowadays because he's mostly deputizing for me on days I'm not hosting. But today I grabbed him. I said, come to the studio today. You are going to sit on my set. And fortunately for him, his team won. So, yes, he's here. I'm not going to drag him while he's watching and I'm dragging him and he's not able to say anything. How are you doing, Emmanuel?
I'm very well. Good to be back. I'm not Timothy, though, even though I'm sitting on his favorite seat. I'm not as tall, but yeah, good to be back. And it's been fantastic, hosting and then being as an analyst. It's a privilege. And it's another time. February coming to an end. It's been an eventful month of February.
Is it as fast as people are saying it is? Because a lot of people said the month was fast.
For me, actually, it is. It was. It is because you're going this week. Let me not say it was, but it kind of moved at a fast pace. But final week. So let's end the month on a high. Good to be back on the show and let's have a good time.
Yeah, good to be back. Also good to see that your team is back to winning ways.
Yeah. Finally, we're still not playing well.
but
the results.
3
points. 9 matters. But the game yesterday was horrible. It was a terrible watch. It was a lucky win, to be honest, but terrible football.
It's something we used to say in NPFL. 3 points is 3 points.
Yeah,
you got your 3 points. And of course, the man who is the masquerade we used to see once in a while, Felix joins us on this set. How are you doing?
I'm fine. The month of love is fading away. The month that people dragged me like. Timothy and Joy, they won't finish me because now relationship are not there. Why?
What are the things you are putting in place to make sure that we don't?
No, I'm already making move by this by
You're already making move.
Yes, by the next Valentine's in 2027, all of us being alive, I'll probably even bring the babe. Come on, set. Because the dragging too much. I'll probably I'll go sit side by side. Maybe do 2 minutes of the show, then you can go on to do other things. But it's good to be back on set.
But if you meet a woman in sports, she can.
You took that out of my mouth. I was like, are you trying to go with a sports person
if you pick a sports person, don't do 2 minutes. She will be the third guest now.
But now that you've said it, I've never really looked at any of our colleagues.
Wow.
That was bad,
Not
right?
even me. Not even me.
You are taking, don't worry. Yeah, you are taking. They roaster again. But now that you've said it, I'm thinking, wow. If I see, I always see them like my guys.
We don't have money, Abby.
No money. Well, there is that, but I always see them as my guys.
Actually,
my guy.
There's a thing about you being in the sports industry. Most of your colleagues already see you as either most of us are usually tomboys, or the kind of way we relate. You will not make you remember that this one a babe. When you guys are always dragging accreditation,
Chelsea, Man United,
or you're always dragging the banter and everything. I actually get.
And sometimes maybe people don't like having anything with colleagues. And
yes,
I don't know. It's just something.
Yes,
too random.
I for one, I know.
It's not something too random.
Yes,
my colleagues, I might just
go to and
put eyes somewhere. You get that kind of thing.
But yes, it's nice to be back on the show today, and we are starting it with something that I wanted to start with. Okay, instead of starting with something dim, let's start with the Super Falcons, who would be in action in less than 30 days to defend the title they won in Morocco in July last year. Now, in preparations for that, there's been a lot of topsy-turvy kind of prep or road to this current or the next WAFCON, coming up from the 17th of March to the 3rd of April. They had an invitational tournament that was supposed to be hosted in Ivory Coast that will involve 4 West African teams. as it was named the WAFU tournament in prep of WAFU friendly tournaments in prep for the WAFCON. So it's going to involve 4 teams, including holders Nigeria, Ghana, and every of the 4 West African teams that will be representing the country or the continent. Sorry, presenting the zone during the games. It was to prepare these people. Now it was called off because first of all Ghana pulled out, and then I don't know, maybe logistics and stuff, they couldn't continue with it after replacing Ghana with Burkina Faso. But now that's done. The Super Falcons will be facing Cameroon in a 2-legged friendly that will be played in Cameroon. The last time we played them was last year, and both games were played in Nigeria. But this time around, no, it was just one game they eventually played because it was just one, and it was played in Abeokuta instead of having one in Ikenne and Abeokuta. We had just one in Abeokuta. This time around, they're going to play the 2 games Yaoundé in Cameroon, and the list has been released. Now, why we're talking about this is because it was a very controversial list that was released last week by the head coach and of course the NFF, where we saw certain names return. Now, I'll be talking to the guys about some of those names that's returned to the list, whether or not how they feel about it, because I know some names inspired joy because people have been clamoring for those names, while some names had a lot of people raising eyebrows. And I'll start from the ones that is a controversial name. The most on that list is Ngozi Okobi, who has not been with the team for almost 3 years, if not more, has returned and will be playing in the 2-legged friendly. Emmanuel, how do you feel about Okobi returning to this team with just these 2 games being the only prep games before the WAFCON?
Well, it was surprising, really shocking. I feel she's one of the players who should be, making way for the younger generations, to stake a claim for the Super Falcons midfield positions. I mean, we know we saw what happened the last time she was left out of the World Cup squad, where she didn't take it lightly. She was, going out posting some, cryptic messages on our social media channels, how she was being deprived of a position and stuff like that. I didn't see this return coming, to be honest. Maybe she didn't burn bridges enough at the time, but I mean, she took a break at some time from football
to
pregnancy,
go
and all
start a
that.
family.
Yes, and to see her return is quite shocking. It's quite surprising, and I mean, we've got younger players who are yearning for a place in that Super Falcons midfield. I don't know if her getting called up, it's for us to start getting accustomed to the fact that she might just make the World Cup, the WAFCON squad rather.
Yeah.
But it will be quite surprising because I mean, maybe the coach is trying to figure out something, is trying to see out something, but whatever Justin Madugu is trying to see, I think he can get it elsewhere, not with Ngozi Okobi. No disrespect to her. I mean, she's in her prime when she was really Ngozi Okobi, she was really good, she was really decent. But I think she's lost it. She now plays in Canada. I'm trying to remember the club now, but she's not. It's a call I saw coming. It's really quite. I didn't see coming rather. It was quite shocking. And I just think it's just for these friendly games. I would be surprised if she makes the WAFCON squad. But whatever she brings, I think we can get it elsewhere. I think she should be phased out of the team. Like I said, no disrespect to the player, no disrespect to the quality she brings. But I think she's gone past her better days when it comes to national team football. But
do you think
we
that
need to give her a chance?
The injuries to player like Tony Payne, who just made a return over the weekend, is one of the reasons why we had to go back to a person like
I would even prefer a what's her name now, Francisca Odega, to even Ngozi Okobi, because I mean Odega still got it. Like she still, you could see that fire in her. You see that little bit of that bit of sharpness in her. But when last did we see Ngozi Okobi play? When last did I say? It's been a while. I've seen her play, and for someone who took a break and now to in a short session being called to the squad in this double-header friendly, it's quite surprising, to be honest. And I mean, let's see. We can only analyze even when she comes. The coach is the one who trains with them, who sees what they bring on the pitch. But if you ask me at first glance, it's a name I didn't see coming. Ngozi Okobi, a return at this point, to the Super Falcons squad at this time in her career. But I'll be surprised if she eventually makes the WAFCON. But let's see what she's going to bring in this.
For me, I think she has, or she's an outsider to the guys that are supposed to make the list. So I don't mind her playing friendly games and showing us if she has still got it.
But my own question is, the friendly games are the only prep before the WAFCON. They don't have any other preparatory games, like countries like Ghana that had been setting up friendlies with England ladies, like the Lionesses. Like, they were top friendlies for other countries. We did not get any other friendlies except these 2 friendlies we're getting, and then you're bringing.
You know, the thing with Nigeria, we always believe is the Falcons. It's the Women's Nations Cup. If we arrange team 12 midnight and we have to play the tournament for the next day, we're probably going to deliver, at least get to the semi-finals and all of that. So that Nigerian thing is there, but for what she has gone through, the motherhood, family, and all of that, and to come back into the game, it's not easy. Not many players go through all of that phase and get back into the team. There is one at, is it Arsenal or Manchester United? Somebody that just, in fact, a Man United player is currently pregnant. Celine Bissett, she's currently pregnant, and I'm looking forward to how her body reacts, because it's a lot for those women. So I want to see how she has come out of this one. And the whole buzz goes about leaving me out of the World Cup was with Wardrobe.
Yes, also
so it's a different coach. So maybe, like you said, she did not burn a lot of bridge. And I don't remember her dragging the NFF during those periods. It was the coach. She went direct for the coach. So maybe that's why she still has this chance to return. If she plays those 2 friendlies and deliver top-notch performances, I think everybody will forget that she has been out for a while. Yeah. The only place I would have issue is if we are dropping key players. The Ainde, the Debra, the Uchebe. Tony Payne has returned from injury.
Tony Payne didn't make the squad.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the WAFCON itself.
Okay.
She would have had like 1 month to train with Everton and all of that. So if she misses out, if she's coming in, maybe because the slot is increased and they are having more players, fine. But if you are going to miss out on players who delivered the trophy last time out and are in good form, that's where I would have a problem. For now, the friendly game she plays, let's see her over 2 games and see if she still got it. But for now, I don't want to write her off just because she's been out of the team for a while. Let me just see what she can deliver in those 2 games that they will be playing as friendlies.
Okay, leaving the judgment until after the friendlies. Now, another player that returned is Gift Monday. Gift Monday has been out of the squad, missed out of going to the WAFCON, missed out of the other friendly we played when we played against the same Cameroon, also missed out on the qualifiers for the WAFCON where we played against Benin Republic. Yes, played against Benin Republic in Benin, and of course when we came to Abeokuta, that was their first game in Nigeria after winning the WAFCON. That was in October. She missed out of that one too, and a lot of people were going for the head of the coach. Now she's been called back into the team, and she'll be making that trip to Cameroon. How do you take this return, Emmanuel, of Gift Monday?
I mean, fantastic return. I mean, I was clamoring for her to be, even the last few games that
she's been unlucky.
Even the last few games she missed out. She was one player I've been clamoring to be part of the squad.
one of our best returns when it concerns club football in the last 1 year.
Yeah, she's been fantastic. Scored a couple of goals in the NWSL with Washington Spirit. She's one player I know very well. I don't know, maybe this one is too personal to me, but I watched progression from playing in the Aziza Ushola, It's a Side Tony 10 at the time to Robo Queens and where she is right now at the moment. She's been in Spain as well, now in the NWSL with Washington Spirit. So it's the progression is really nice to see, and she's really grown to a mature footballer that I expected of her at the time. And not just the football, she's intelligent as well. When you hear her speak, I'm going to come back to the football, but I'm just trying to give a lowdown of what I knew about the player Monday Gift. She's intelligent as well. The way she carries herself in the media, she speaks very well, and she's fun to be with, really lively. But the football as well, she's really grown over time to show that she can be a better player. So her return to this team is really massive for me, and it's an exciting news. I'm sure most follower of Super Falcons who clearly
I mean,
agree,
I said
agree
it
with
on
me
my on my tweet. The first when I saw the list, first name I went to look for before I even noticed, because Okobi's name was not Ngozi Okobi, it was Ngozi something else. Let me see,
something,
Ngozi something else. One of our other names.
something
Let me
Ogene
see.
or something.
Yes,
Yeah, Ogene.
yes. Okay, Ogene.
Okay,
So I'm
Ogene.
like, I didn't even look at all of that. I was going to go back to that, but when I saw Monday Gifts, I just said Monday Gifts makes a return. Text bill. Everybody knows that we're clamoring for. Everybody came. I was like, Allah Akbar, because it was a very big miss.
We don't
for
know
us.
why she missed the last couple of games. We don't know,
Including the WAFCON.
Including the WAFCON. We don't know the story behind it. We've been hearing stories and whatnot, but finally good to see that she's back in the squad, and hopefully she is really a full part of this WAFCON squad this time around. She's still got a lot to give the Super Falcons. She's still got a lot to offer. Still young, age is on her side, and I mean, there's no Aziza Oshola in the squad as well. So this is one player I feel can take that man to if given that consistent run, and if she stays fit and continue to perform with the way she's performed across 2025 in the NWSL. So I mean, she definitely deserves to be part of the squad in the subsequent games and also for the WAFCON. So good to see Monday Gift back in the squad, and hopefully she stays injury free, and give the manager something to think about in these two friendly games against Cameroon.
Yeah, you can see the list on your screen. Some of the notable names that are missing are names like the name that Emmanuel mentioned when talking about Gifts Monday is Azato Shwala, who is also having a very great time at her game playing over there at Saudi Arabia.
Really
I think that is
league,
yes. I think it's something that would just is something that we're actually used to. Her not playing a lot of friendly games, but getting in the squad when it concerns major tournaments. As
Mama
long
is
as
getting a bit older, and we need to manage her.
I think that's what the coach is doing with this. And another name that a lot of people are actually surprised did not make this friendly list is Okafor Chioma, who was part of the squad that went to the WAFCON. You remember she has not played a single minute for the Super Falcons. And I mean, I have people who have asked me on Twitter, have asked me on different places, if we are not at risk of losing her since she has not been capped by the Super Falcons. Well, there's still the WAFCON for us to actually have that debate, because I feel like I told a lot of people, I said this is just a friendly. She has moved from college football to the NWSL now. She has graduated from college where she was playing right there, and she was one of the best players in college football last season, talking about Okafor. Even after coming back from the WAFCON, went on to win the preseason player of the year, went on to win a lot of accolades, to score the first goal of the season for them. So you know that she's also firing on all cylinders, which is why I said it was surprising to a lot of people she didn't make this friendly list that has new intakes too on that list. But like I said,
what's the other country she's eligible to represent?
Mali. Malawi. Yes, her mom is Malawian, her dad is Nigerian. She agreed to play for Nigeria just before the WAFCON was invited. A very surprising name to a lot of us, and she ended up getting injured in camp and could not play a single minute during the tournaments. But I mean, she's a WAFCON winner with Nigeria. That will not be taken away from her, but she's yet to be capped by Nigeria. You know the way this happens. We saw it happen with a lady who had trying to remember her name. She agreed to play for Jamaica, but because she was not capped by Jamaica in a year, she had switched to the Lionesses, and it caused a lot of uproar on Twitter last year. So
Agebank.
So it is something that is quite something we should be looking forward to. I remember that this WAFCON,
Chelsea, what's her club again?
Arsenal.
I think it's Arsenal. But she was on loan.
She was on loan. Then she got injured, so they brought her back.
Yes. Now, this WAFCON is the first of its kind, as we're moving from a 12-team tourney that we've had for a while to a 16-team tourney. Now, it's going to be played, like I said earlier on, from the 17th of March till the 3rd of April, and it will be hosted by Morocco again. This is the third time they are hosting in a row. So they hosted in 2022, where South Africa were winners. They hosted in 2025 for edition 2024, which was shifted, obviously. And Nigeria won that one, which they are currently defending champions. And they'll be hosting again this year, next month. But the friendlies that we just talked about will be played on the 28th of this month, and the second leg will be played on the 6th of March. So watch out for that one. And remember that this WAFCON will determine who gets to play at the World Cup in Brazil next year. And it will be determined by the semi-finalists. Only those to make the semi-finals of this WAFCON will qualify for the World Cup, as Africa now has 4 slots instead of 3, because it's also going to be an expanded World Cup. For the first time, we're having 32 teams play at the World Cup. Brazil is hosting next year. Nice. Yes, so it's going to be a lot of women's football in your faces in the next couple of months. We're also having the Asian Cup that will be played this month too. We've seen teams like Australia release their list already, obviously because I saw that Sam Kerr was returning to the national team to play international football after a while, although she has been playing friendlies, but she missed the last Asian Cup because of injuries, but she's going to be playing this next one. And another Chelsea player also, Elenia Carpenter, is also going to be on that list. So yes, the Asian Cup is going to be there, and before you know it, we'll be getting ready for the Copa America Femenine, which is that one. We had the Euros last year, so we're not expecting the Euros this year. Talking about the women's Euros for, obviously teams, the teams in Europe. So that is what we have for you on women's football. But before we go to club football, which is usually what is to make the bulk of the show, both in Nigeria and in other countries and other continents, let's quickly take a break, and when we return, there's so much to talk about, and one of those things are the things that we always avoid talking about, but we have to talk about them, or we always wish not avoid talking about them. We have to talk about them because it's when we talk about them that we shed more light on it. We make sure that it's not something that becomes a norm, although it's a norm. It's not something that is a norm for good reasons. When we come back from this break, we'll tell you what it is, and we'll tell you why we can't stop talking about it, because it is currently making so much face in football in the last couple of weeks, and it is something really ugly for the game we all love. Stay with us. We'll be back on the Gliders. Welcome back. If this is your first time watching this show, this is to announce to you that you can win a 200 Naira welcome bonus on WBG website when you want to place your bet. All you need to do is to use our promo code Gliders as written on your screen there, and you would be able to get that welcome bonus. Place your bets on lots of games that will be happening in the world of football this week, starting from this night where we'll be having that game between Everton and Man United. I remember the last time that happened, what happened in that last game. And I'm looking forward to talking about it. We'll talk about it, but before we go there, let's talk about the one that is not so funny, and one that, like I said, is not something we want to have to talk about, but it's something that keeps rearing its head, and we have to talk about it. Now, during the first leg of the Champions League playoffs, we had a very ugly incident that at the end of the day overshadowed every other game that was played that first leg. Every other game we had Atletico Madrid from leading by 2 goals in the first half, ending up drawing that game. We had Inter Milan losing, getting spanked by Bodo making history. We had Galatasaray winning very convincingly against Juve 5-2. We had so many top-notch games. Even the game that eventually got us talking was supposed to be like a follow-up of what happened in their previous meeting, which was a historic one that saw them eventually having to meet in this playoffs. And I'm talking about Benfica versus Real Madrid. And that is the incident that happened because of Vinicius Jr. getting reportedly allegedly racially abused, according to himself and his teammates. But that caused so much. You can see the statements, the person who is accused, so much drama has come from it. Murillo also getting a lot of fire for his statements when asked to react to his player being alleged to be a racist or saying something racist. There's also been so much fire for the player himself, who came out to say, I am not racist, though. I did not say I was racist. I am homophobic. And I'm saying to myself, but that is a problem. That's a topic for another day. Racism is what we are really facing right now in football, and we'll talk about homophobia when homophobia is the main thing. Apart from that, over the weekend, 2 I'm learning from Felix on before we came on set now that we even had someone else that was not as popular as the other two, but we had 3 players that were racially abused, but 2 were the main ones that were on the faces of everyone because of the incident that led to those racial abuses. Not justifying it, but this is how it happened. Chelsea dropped points to Burnley at home on Saturday, and that happened because they were reduced to 10 men in that game when Fofana was sent off for a red card. Now, Fofana came out to post the kind of messages he had been receiving in his DMs, and Chelsea came out with a statement before midnight that day condemning the incident. Just before we are talking about Fofana, the next day, our own Tolu Arokodare missed the penalty in that game Wolves played yesterday, and he was the next victim of racial abuse. Wolves came out to drop their own statements. Tolu has received so much support. Trust Nigerians to rally around behind their own. But why are we still talking about racism being an issue? I mean, that is a statement from Tolu Arokodare after he got racially abused on social media. I mean, we've seen the one that happened with fans, but this one is the one that happens via social media, and he had come out to talk about it. Now, guys, the ones that happen with fans, I think we've been able to find solutions to it because most of these people, not that it doesn't still happen, it still happens, but most of these people, because they can be easily identified via cameras, footages, they are banned for life from coming to the stadium. But you cannot ban people on social media, at least for now, for racially abusing a person. What do you think that those social media platforms can do to protect these players? Because it would not stop. And they are big personalities. No matter how much they try to be private, they would be in the faces of everybody. So their accounts will be exposed, their lifestyle will be exposed, and they will keep getting this if something is not done. What do you think platforms like Meta can do to ensure that people are actually facing consequences? Because in Tolu's statement, Tolu said he can't believe that people are actually doing this thing without any consequences. Or we would come out and say racism is bad, we will do like this. It's not memount. This means no to racism. Means no to racism. But at the end of the day, no major consequences for those offline. Online, those online. Offline, we get people banned from stadium. People will be prosecuted because we've seen people prosecuted for racially abusing players. They will be arrested by the local police, charged to court. But what happens to those who are actually doing it online? What can these social media companies do?
I think the social media companies can do a lot. Everybody has an IP address. When you tweet, when you post, yes, you can use VPN to try and bypass certain things. But I don't think a lot of the people who go online to racially abuse people are that smart.
And I also think there's something, sorry to cut you, I think something Twitter did recently where now you can see no matter what you've done, Twitter will show you where the person is tweeting from, the country it's tweeting from, the country you actually signed up from. All those things have now narrowed down a lot of people that were fraudulent on the app. So now if you tweet something,
that's why I said there is a lot that these companies can do. But will they do it? Because they have these privacy clauses that they put, like you register when you want to register on X, on Facebook, on whatever platform. They tell you that whatever data you give them is between you and them, and it's private. They can get sued for releasing.
But don't you think racism is something that should actually get those bypasses?
I think it is something that the whole society needs to address as a whole, rather than just put the bulk of it on those platforms. If the society agree together that racism is something that, regardless of whatever contract or agreement you people have with your privacy of your data, if you racially abuse somebody, easily they can get it from those organization. To be, because if you go to Meta and ask, they will ask for court this, court that. By the time you begin to drag all those processes, by the time you begin to drag all those processes, you find out that people get lost in all this conversation. But there are particular places that when you catch those people that's racially abused, they can actually take them to court. But the first place where we have problem is actually fishing them out. If you see the one that their IP address is easily traceable, or you can track them, you can always, you've seen on Twitter, on Facebook, where people say something and somehow you just see letter for your house address. They can always track you.
Yes.
So I think people can be tracked. You can do that one outside those platforms, but the biggest way we can address this is with those platforms. But those platforms, because of the agreements they have with their users, it will be difficult for them to just say, okay, you have racially abused somebody. This is they have penalties. They expel you from their platform. They block your accounts and they deactivate it. But to take it beyond that, deactivating you from social media or those their platform and taking you to the court of law, when they will say, okay, you have been sentenced to 6 months, 1 year, that's where we have problem. And I think they should find a way to make sure that societies, and if they are going to come, if you are going to, if I were the Nigerian government or the British government, I would say, if I am going to give you access to get customers or users from my country to use your platform, because we have a law against racism in this place. We have a law against fraud. Then you have to find a way to make those your agreements that you sign and tell them beforehand that if you bypass or you you criminalize any of the laws of this land or the place where you are tweeting from or you are sending a message from, you'll be handed over to the authorities.
To local authorities.
Because it is something that they need to do. We can't have the beautiful game like you talked about, the Madrid game. It was supposed to be Madrid getting revenge on Benfica.
Yeah.
But throughout that game and the whole of that week, despite all of the good work that Galatasaray, nobody was saying anything. Every show you looked at, every show you tuned in, they were talking about the Vini incident. If they were talking about the Vini incident, they were talking about
the Mourinho statement.
They were talking about Mourinho statement. They were talking, even Vincent Kompany had to do a 12 minutes
I've not watched that thing.
monologue on that in his press conference for a Bayern game in the Bundesliga.
Imagine.
Just because he wanted to address the situation. It's not something that is good.
What's his name? Enrique is under fire now for saying it's not important.
Yeah.
So much.
Enrique wanted to just say, somebody else has already addressed it. Let's just focus about
it was taken out of context.
See that, and I think that's why Vincent Kompany decided to do his own monologue in English. He said it, if I speak in German or in whatever other language, I might be quoted or misquoted.
Yeah.
So let me speak English that we all
understand.
So what I said is what you write. And he said it. Enrique wanted to just focus on his game. Say, let's talk about PSG. Let's talk about Ligue 1. We are going back to the top of the table. Let's talk about us. But I don't think it is right to just say, let's talk about us, because you are not the one facing the racial abuse. So I am happy that people clap down on me. And
especially because he is a coach of a team that has so many players of color.
He's not in quote racist, because we don't know anything that he has done to prove.
I mean, people came out with old tweets talking about the fact that he ignored when Neymar was racially abused to when he was a coach of Barcelona. So like I said,
maybe it's his own way of not giving relevance to racist.
Yes.
Because some people have suggested that we do that. Like when they do those, just ignore them. That when you ignore them, it is more people. But everybody does not have the same skin. Some people will go touch some people more than other people. Vinicius look like somebody that he touches. And maybe Vinicius is not even doing it for himself.
Because
he's doing it for like
other people that will not. Yeah, there are people that don't have the platforms. There are actually players that get abused. We saw our own Tyrone Murphy moved leagues entirely, changed teams because he was also racially abused. So there are people that, and his own was even known to us.
They came to his house
by his own fans.
You understand? So it is something that players should not take lightly. I actually think that people like Vinicius Junior are actually doing the right thing.
It's a very sensitive topic,
a
very emotional topic when it comes to racism and football, because a lot of managers have been reacting to it, and people came at Jose Mourinho, who, for me, to be honest, I've not seen anything racist relating to Jose Mourinho, because I mean his work.
You don't find any issue with what he said.
This recent statement. He's talking about
like him as a person.
As a person, I don't think he's been involved in any racism standard. Maybe we can't deny that we didn't understand what he said, but maybe the timing of that statement was wrong. I'm not trying to say he was right with the statement. Of course, we know Vinicius. We know his style of play. He likes to sometimes maybe overdo it to rile up the opposition fans.
And then people also linked it to he himself, for real, because in his prime, he was also a very troublesome person.
So maybe it should not be coming from a person like him.
Him.
No, I don't think that. No, I don't think that should stand. Also,
no,
that you did it when you were young.
To be honest, yes, that's what I'm saying.
Does not mean since you have grown and you've seen that.
And it's also,
it doesn't mean you don't understand what he was trying to say. If you're being truthful, you could know Vinicius has that thing in him. Like, he likes to win those but it's not an excuse for him to racists to react in a racial manner.
What Mourinho said was totally off course. Terry Murphy did not jubilate. Hannibal was just putting his leg there when Fofana tackled him. Fofana was just trying to do his job as a player, make a tackle.
Yeah.
They did not jubilate for them to be racially abused. So racists do not want to hear whether you celebrate or did not celebrate. We have people who have celebrated worse than Vinicius.
Let's get one thing clear. Vinicius was not booked because of the celebration. I think people are mistaking that. He wasn't booked because of the dance. There's a clip, if you watch it very well, the referee has cautioned him, like, do your thing, celebrate your goal, don't get too close to the fans. It was after.
Yeah.
There was a point where he was, as Benfica was about to restart the game after conceding, there was a point he still went to, he was trying to, still gesticulating to the fans, trying to, ride him up. Then the referee ran up to him and gave him a card. So it wasn't because of, we've seen war celebration. So I just wanted to put that out. Vinicius wasn't booked because of, the celebration. But I mean, and it's in the rule book for referee. When you try to, rile up the fan and you intentionally do that, that was what Vinicius was booked for. And we can't deny that the fact we don't know Vinicius Junior, like what he does in football game. But then again, it's not an excuse for racists to have a go. If you want to react, you've seen fans in stadium that act classy, even though you try to win them up or try to ride them up. So, but it's not an excuse. Like I said, I get what Mourinho was saying. Maybe the timing was, you should condemn the abuse outrightly
first,
not trying to. Yes, in place of Benfica, you want to stand for your club.
The way he started
you attack the incident immediately.
The way Mourinho started that press conference, I thought, okay, this is a good way. Then he flipped. He said, I've spoken to Vinicius, I've spoken to Prestiani, and I've heard both sides. I said, okay. I thought the next thing was we condemn.
Exactly.
Then I heard,
that's what you should have done.
Then I don't know Vinicius Junior. He scored a good goal.
We know him, but the timing
then
was
Benfica really followed up with the stupid statement.
And that's another thing again. Stupid statement from the club in trying to defend their players.
As a Liverpool fan, it seems it's something that clubs will wear red.
Nah, I beg, no, we the fans I don't feel we don't have any.
That was how Liverpool defended Suarez. It took them some more like a couple of years back to apologize and say we got that one wrong. They wore his shirt.
And I believe the fans regretted the action because Suarez was actually guilty. After everything, and Prestiani didn't help himself trying to cover his mouth.
And then him coming out to say that he's not racist, he's homophobic. Why are you doing this?
The fact that he was Argentine didn't help because we saw videos of Argentine trying,
But also, for Vinicius to react the way he reacted, he probably said something that was off. I don't want to preempt whatever judgment is going to come up, but I don't think also people say because he covered his mouth, that is because he wanted to say something back. Because in that same game, several times Vinicius Junior was talking to Otamendi and his hands was like this.
Yeah.
So players do it. They cover them when they want to say silly things. What was the silly thing that he said? That's the thing that we should, for Vinicius to react that way. And for Kylian Mbappe, who usually plays diplomatic, he does not want to involve himself when he talks about race and all of that. For him to come out to say, this is what I heard. That means there's
not
probably
just
something.
Condemn. He was so out, there's
probably something there. Covering the mouth is not the almost even the games that were played yesterday. If you see the City games, and I was talking with, they cover their mouth because they don't want all those professional lip readers to actually read their lips and say this is what this person was saying at this time, and this is what he was not saying at this time. So I don't think that covering his mouth is something I would just say because he covered the mouth.
That means you are saying something bad.
One thing I was thinking about also, I think was what day was one of the games I watched after, and I saw a player doing the same thing, and I was thinking about it, like if this care is not taking, because they used to adjust a lot of rules. Let's not be that they will say that players should not be covering their mouth when they are talking. It's something that may actually happen depending on how this case goes.
The Western world is to free it's too in that freedom of speech, freedom of movement, freedom of.
I know they will not say you should not talk now. Talk, but don't cover your mouth.
That's
what I'm saying.
It might happen.
It might happen because, like I said, we never knew that some of the rules that we are.
But that covering your mouth is for the protection of consumers actually, because you cannot tell players to not swear. Sometimes you see when they miss a chance and you see the camera will just quickly because children are watching.
Yeah.
So if you say whatever you want to say,
in the heat of the moment.
It's not even by swearing. Sometimes sometimes it might just be exchanging pleasantries and you just have to cover. You don't
actually.
want. You just don't want
that, so imagine I want to say, that club will meet that yesterday. How do you want me to say that club will meet yesterday?
Even instructions, you can see that when there are some games, because I'm a Chelsea fan, it happens a lot. When a player is coming on, a player like James is coming on as a captain, he's giving a piece of paper by the coach. When he's coming on, he's coming to come and give instructions to the players on the pitch. You see him covering his mouth to give those instructions or show them the paper, coming to give them direct instruction. What the coach said they should do that will change the game. You immediately see that formation changes and all of that.
It helps. So you cannot say because of one side.
It's very delicate to actually.
Yeah, because imagine James wanted to say, coach say make you switch from right back or make you play right back, make you invert or no they invert again, do man to man with them. Imagine that saying that and your mouth is open. Somebody can quickly read it and
tell the other coach.
So the whole information becomes useless. So I don't think we will get to a place where they would say you cannot do it.
In all of this, it's still it's still a sensitive topic. It's still an emotional topic, and because it's something that has been plating havoc in the beautiful game of football recent times, and this has been happening for long, over and over again. Clubs, fans still partake in racial slurs, racism here and there. And for those doing it online, they are just, I don't know, they're just cowards. And you're talking about social media companies. One thing, we've seen too many burner accounts. Sometimes these people, you wonder if they can actually come out with their real self to go into someone's DM and send those, insultive and racial words. Tolu had to post all the screenshots, and I'm seeing monkeys here and there, so many, foul languages and all that. So maybe
it's business for those. That's why they cannot decide not to have burner account, because the more they can say we have 300 million subscribers.
Actually,
maybe half of those 300 are burner accounts, but they will use that one as sell market to bring in advertisers, so they probably will not. But I think
they need to curb it.
Yes, I think only real people should have social media accounts.
Exactly.
One person, one Facebook account. If you create a business account, you have to use your CAC and whatever to put that number. Just like when you want to create a bank account, you cannot have a just burner account. Let's be able to trace everybody that this is who has this account.
So that once the punishment comes, it's stricter. It goes direct, and I think more needs to be done. I think with social media companies
to be done.
Working with clubs
Meta, Twitter, all of you. No, sorry, not Twitter.
Elon
X.
and Co.
Meta, X, and the rest of you. I think you have a lot on your plate and a lot to actually do. You need to more, because they are more stringent with a lot of their rules nowadays on social media. You do a lot of things. They ban your accounts.
And they should make
they think that they should make it
just
easy.
Easily,
and definitely.
They can't ban for life.
To protect not just players, because racism obviously affects every per starter when it concerns business. You see a lot of our friends, because of the Jackpot wave, who still talk about themselves being racially abused, but they just have to they don't have people to fight for them. Like I was also saying that if players with big accounts are the ones that will make the noise for them to actually take action, they should continue, because there are people who don't have that voice to be able to shout and say, okay, in my workplace.
There's a company was saying it now, somebody in Slovenia.
Do you understand?
Racially abused, and when they come out, you don't know. It doesn't get.
Doesn't have the voice.
He
said
voice.
He was happy Vinicius was doing what he was doing.
Definitely. So let's see if this would maybe be the start of that change that we've been hoping for.
Sets us up for an interesting second leg, though.
Definitely this week, the second leg to that particular one. But
best bet for Benfica: don't carry Prestiani over to Spain.
90 minutes is a long time been about. Okay, let's not go there yet. But let's quickly touch on Chelsea dropped points, which was the start of what led to that one for Fofana. But Chelsea dropping points means that if Manchester United, who a lot of people now clamor, call them the Sesame Twins or the Bad Twins, they will be up against Everton tonight, away at Everton. Do you think that with the signs we've seen, they were not able to get the 5 wins in a row. But I mean, they still haven't dropped points since Carrick took over. Felix, do you think that this team stands a chance to make it into the top 4 despite the very terrible start to their 2025-2026 season?
I think right now the top 4 is wide open for about 4 teams. Aston Villa, if United win, will just be 3 points above United in the race for top 4. Liverpool leveled up on points with United and Chelsea after their late win yesterday. So I think it's a race that is wide open. The 4 teams there can still make it into that top 4 bracket. And I don't know how to feel about United going to the Hill Dickinson Stadium later this night, because first leg, I remember that game with a man down from very early in the first half of that game. United played against Everton, and I think that was the place that Amorim lost me.
Yeah,
that was the game that I said, okay, I was not buying into whatever you were cooking previously, but now you've lost me. Because United, we are playing with 1 man down, and Amorim still had 3 at the back, 5 defenders. When he was going to make a sub, the subs were like for like. He was not really trying to change anything in that game until very late. I started to do whatever rubbish. So this is a very different...
I mean, sorry, please, let's correct the impression. Manchester United were not a man down. They were playing against a 10-man
Everton were a man
down.
Yes. The United one had a man advantage. That was what I was supposed to say. Thank you. And Amorim was still doing his rubbish that game. But this is a very different United team.
Yeah.
They've won 4 of the 5 games they've played under Michael Carrick, the most informed side in the Premier League in some people's book in 2026.
Well, I think City came out after winning against Newcastle to say 5 wins in a row, time for a trim. So they are now the most informed team.
So I think it's going to be a very tough game. Everton are playing some good football, and they too also are in the shout for European places. Maybe not necessarily Champions League football, maybe Europa League or Conference League. The way the Premier League table, aside from the first 2 teams, everywhere else is cramped up with people fighting for different things in the league. So I think it's going to be a very tough one. A draw for United would mean they would just be 1 point above both Chelsea and
that is if there's a
and
score draw.
Continue that.
It's a score draw, yes. Because based on points, they need at least a goal.
No, they are on the same points right now.
No, I'm talking about goal difference.
Yeah, goal difference. Chelsea have better goal difference.
Yes, so a score draw is the thing that will take United above Chelsea.
No, I'm saying a score draw, United will have 1 point more. They will be on 46.
Chelsea's goal difference as it stands is 17.
Yeah, but they are on 45.
Okay, they are both on 45 points.
Yeah, so if United draw, they will be on 46. If United lose, Chelsea will remain 4th. United will still remain 5th.
Yeah.
Because United have better goal difference than Liverpool.
Yes.
Chelsea has better goal difference than United.
Okay.
So a draw tonight is not the worst result, but it would also be another missed opportunity. United have had that a lot this season. Chance for them to just stay clear of the chasing pack for that top 4 race. Well, I'm looking forward to that game. I want to see how Michael Carrick team will play against an Everton side at home. Everton are home. I want to know if they would come all out, take the game to United. That would play into the hands of United because they like spacing behind for people like Cunha and Mbeumo and Matt to run in. Or would they do the same thing that West Ham did? Stay in the game, stay compact, on the counter, hit United, and then get your goal. They can play both ways, and they can hurt United both ways.
Well, Everton, I don't see them taking anything from this game. The recent home run has been really poor. I think 3 losses. They've not won in their last 6 home games. 3 losses, 3 draws, and there's some pressure under David Moyes right now. And like you said, they'll
be stupid if they do anything stupid with David Moyes.
No, they're in the shout for European places, not the top European competitions, maybe Conference League and the likes. But their home form has been really poor in the last couple of games. Like I mentioned, 3 draws, 3 losses against this United side. I mean, no better team to restore your home form than against a team like Manchester United. So you could tell that maybe they might up the ante in terms of the performances, because I mean there's something about these mid-table teams. When you play top teams, they tend to play differently, but when they see their mates, you get
for instance, not even a top table, but a bottom team with Wolves and Arsenal.
You see how they stroll past them easily, but when a top team comes visiting, they tend to up the ante really well. So this, which is why I just feel they might try, but United might just be too strong for Everton, because I mean it's been poor, their recent home run. But let's see how that one pans out. as a Liverpool fan, of course, I want United to drop points, even though it is the blue side of Merseyside. But I mean, let's cheer.
Liverpool would not mind.
We won't mind at all. So yeah, the top four about to really getting intense, and like you mentioned, chances as well for Liverpool to have capitalized on, the drop in form from Chelsea and United, but they've also faltered in their own right. But thankfully now it gets intense. Now all three teams level on points, and United with a chance now to go 3 clear, and Aston Villa as well might just be dropping further as well. 51 points. If United win, they get to 46. So maybe Villa, Chelsea, United and Liverpool might just be the 4 teams vying for that third position. Of course, Arsenal and City are clear in the top 2 positions. So interesting. So let's see how that one pans out as far as the Champions League position is concerned. It's not confirmed if it is 5 teams.
Well, the way it's going for the Premier League, they already have about 20,000 points in the UEFA Cup.
So it might just go to the final.
And then, 70, almost, if not all of them that played in
except Newcastle.
Except Newcastle, everyone else qualified.
English teams qualified in the
for
top
the round of 16.
So probably have like 3 English teams in the quarterfinals.
Probably.
And maybe about 2 of them in the semi-finals.
Okay, so that for those teams that would be playing in, or the teams that have been competing for the top 4. But let's leave the top 4 and talk about the 2 major contenders for the title. And I'm talking about Man City and, of course, Arsenal. Both of them were in, they were both in action over the weekend. We had the North London Derby played yesterday between Tottenham Hotspur and Arsenal away at Tottenham Hotspur. Now, someone said for anybody who thinks that Man City should put their hope in Tottenham Hotspur would be a waste of time. For them. And truth. Because at the end of the day, that was one of the most annoying games to ever watch as a neutral. I was watching as a neutral, not neutral, but you get it. It was a 4-1 win for Arsenal. Well, Man City also did their business in that game against Newcastle the day before when they defeated Newcastle by 2-1 at Etihad. Now, we're talking about capitalizing. Man City have looked to like a team that would eventually or is currently capitalizing on whatever lapses that Arsenal is creating in this run for the title. Do you think, but they are also a side not consistent. Do you think that this will go down the wire, or which of these games in the next 10 games do you think will decide the title? Because it's looking like, what's their name? It's looking like Arsenal are the ones that have 2 or tougher games to play than City. City just have Arsenal to play. I think just Arsenal to play in that run.
They have Chelsea.
They have Arsenal, they have Chelsea. Oh, they both have it. Then, what's their name? Arsenal has Chelsea, has City also to play. Do you think this will go down the wire? Or do you think that at the end of the day, because Man City just have one business. They have to win all their games and they're champions. Arsenal have to hope that Man City don't win all their games, including the one they'll play against them, because that will mean they'll bottle it for the 4th time. But they did good yesterday, extending that point again, but with a game in hand for City. Do you think this will go down the wire, or do you think that these major games we are looking forward to, talking about the top teams, will be where those games will be decided?
Well, for me, Arsenal will count themselves lucky because City have not been as consistent as we know them to be. I'm a Liverpool fan. I know the trauma City did to us.
Yeah.
That final few games of the season where they keep on picking wins after wins, even though Liverpool kept on winning, but City will also win.
They will never drop points
even
again.
Guardiola has admitted that he sees his team dropping points from now to the end of the season. So it's an open race. I mean, it's going to go down the wire, if you ask me. And credit to
Up
Arsenal.
to the last day?
Yeah, it might just go down the wire. Both teams will drop points. I don't see both teams going on a winning run in the remainder of the season. Yeah, both teams will drop points. So it depends on who will take advantage at a crucial point in the season as well, because if you ask me, Arsenal, good way to step up. I mean, they dropped point the last time out, and no better game to pick up than in a derby game against Tottenham Hotspur, who we all thought the new manager bounce might kick in, but Igor Tudor had nothing to show forth in that game. Even though they equalized immediately, Arsenal scored the first goal, but I didn't see that game, but because I was somewhere, but I was just trying to follow up with proceedings as well. It was a whitewashing, come the end of 90 minutes, and Spurs, they've lost too many home games this season. They are currently in that relegation fight, but we're not talking about Spurs now, because for Arsenal fans, they know they've been shit. But, City have not been as consistent. So I still think Arsenal, if you ask me, are favourites to win the title. They are top of the table now. I think it's how many points now? If I'm not mistaken, by that one, 5 points.
But City has a game in hand.
City has a game in hand, and you can't just guarantee that City will go on a run like they've did in the last couple of seasons. So it's an interesting race to look forward to. Things might still change from now to the end of the season, but Arsenal, if you ask me right now, they are favourites due to the fact that City have not been as consistent as we know them to be, when it comes to title chase, when it comes to title push, picking up wins towards the tail end of the season. But we'll keep our fingers crossed. But is Arsenal started to lose?
For me, I think it's Arsenal that has brought City back into this title race.
Yes.
It was always Arsenal's title.
I mean, we had at some point 9 points.
Yeah.
We had 7 points.
They've been top of this table since game week 7. So
and now we're in 26.
2026 has not really started well.
Match day 28.
Yeah.
So we have just 10 games. I said match day 28 for every other person.
So I think it's Arsenal that allowed City to crawl back into this Premier League title race. They gave City belief.
And you could see the jubilation for City after that game against
the game before
Newcastle.
this one. What game did they play? And Haaland and Bernardo Silva were celebrating. The way they were celebrating, and Pep said the player are up for it.
Yes.
You could just see that it's Arsenal
it was the
Liverpool when they won. The player are up for it. You could just, it's Arsenal that allowed them, because Arsenal have a better squad. This City squad is probably the worst one Pep Guardiola has had since his first season.
If Arsenal don't go on to
win this title, that's why I was asking somebody. Would this be the biggest bottling that they've had a few during Arsene Wenger and Sir Alex Ferguson? They've had Arteta done it twice already. I was asking that person, would this be the biggest one in Arsenal's history if they fail? Because they have the best squad literally in the league, maybe even in Europe. They've had players who have experienced title race challenges before. It's not the first time that we say, okay, they are still young. Saka is no longer still young. He's 24, 25 now. Odegaard is 26, moving to 27. Martinelli is 24, 25, 20. So, Eze is 27, going to 28. Declan Rice around the same age. So, their excuse of they are still young
will not
cut irrelevant. Yeah.
Arteta has had 6 years, so it will not cut. So, if they fail to win this particular, and I also think if they don't win this league this season, if they win it this season, they might go on to maybe do greater things going forward. If they don't win this, it breaks them. And the other teams are looking like they will close up. Pep Guardiola contract is ending by 2028. If he does not win the league this season, he would want to do it in 2028. If he does it this season, he probably leaves a year earlier, or he will still want to win it and live on the high for the next manager that is coming in next. So this season is very crucial for Arsenal. They have to win the league this season, but they've opened the door for Manchester City to start feeling like they smell blood. And like Joe was saying, City just have to win all their games for the rest of the season. And there is no game that is impossible. The most difficult game for City right now is looking like the Arsenal game. And it's happening at the Etihad. If City knows that we win this one, we win the league. We lose it or draw, we are out of. They will put everything into that game.
And
the
Chelsea game too might just be difficult because Chelsea
the Chelsea game might be difficult. But again, if City are all out wanting to win, the way this Rosino is setting up these Chelsea boys to play passing around and all those rubbish, they be winning 1-0 and be looking like it's 3-0 that they are winning. I don't put it beyond City to beat Chelsea. It would be difficult or might be difficult, but I don't put it beyond them. But Arsenal also have got that same Chelsea. They have lost to Chelsea have lost to Arsenal twice already this season and drawn one in the league. So Chelsea would want to prove a point in that game. So they both have Chelsea to contend with. So it's looking like a very tough one, and a league that I was thinking would end by the end of April. I thought Arsenal would have won this league by the end of April. We game to spare. It's looking like it's going to go down the wire in May. And I'm here for it.
Oh, we're here for it. I mean, I said something on Twitter. I said, please, anybody that want to die, please wait until after that title race is finished.
Arteta said if you can't take the heat of a title race, you can't.
Everybody
leave
should wait. Please don't die. Please. I'm begging everybody. Me, myself, I said something and I'm going to tweet it. I would be using pedestrian bridge even if I don't need to. I'll use pedestrian bridge. I would not eat any protein, be it fish or meat that has boneless, and so it will not be fish that will choke me. I'll be bone that will choke me to death.
You want to be alive.
I have to be alive. I have to witness it. Anything that was going to happen, it will be in our faces.
But it melts down.
Because I cannot imagine.
I cannot imagine. This is like Felix said, that might be the highest bottling of the 4, because this is going to be the 4th time that they would get very close and lose it at the end. But this is going to be the biggest of this, because like everyone said, the team that they will lose it to. We already know that the other teams are not contenders. The team they will lose it to is going to be
Arsenal
the worst.
practically have the best of everything according to their fans.
I mean,
Timber is better than Reece James.
For other
Gabriel and Saliba are the best centre backs.
For other title races we've seen before this season, when it was Liverpool's turn, it was always the best team or the best 2 teams, Man City, Liverpool, Man City, Liverpool. When it was eventually Arsenal and Liverpool, it was a crop of the best team of that Liverpool that were still there, and then a little additions. It was majorly, a lot of people still say it's the reason why Slot is not doing well, because it was Klopp's team that he used to win the league last season, and you can actually believe, because if you look at majority of the players that performed well, they are from the old set that were eventually the team that would win Klopp his first title and Liverpool their first EPL title. So you can give that one, but now you're playing a Man City team that, I mean, I don't want to say a lot, but like I said,
change squad as well.
Change scored, inconsistent, not just inconsistent scored, not being able to get back the kind of quality that they've lost. Back in the days, if what's his name, if Pep sells his captain, the next captain is someone coming in strong. Now Bernardo, oh my God, everybody that is coming in this present one is not looking like someone that can push the team. But if they push that team, it's going to be a very big miracle for them, but a very big slap on the face.
But that Newcastle game, though,
Arsenal.
I saw a different City side. Like the fights they showed off. I've never seen Haaland.
Haaland was defending
the ball
both boxes
in a football game. Haaland was
And that
defending.
that is where you know
going
that there's
toe-to-toe with
trouble.
Dambon
There's
and
trouble.
like,
That's why I said
He
it's
didn't
Arsenal that
score,
made
but
them
he
start
was-
believing. They
he
are
was
believing now
everywhere.
that we
So
can do it.
they know that, okay,
There's a chance
There's
for
a
them.
chance for
and they
this
will
now,
fight
but-
till the
And that's
end.
bad. Give City a chance.
you know, probably they might not come out to say maybe they felt Arsenal would have dropped points in the derby against Spurs because
No,
I mean,
no, they
new
don't.
manager.
No,
and all
no,
that.
I wasn't
But,
expecting.
you know, I didn't expect. I didn't see the 4-1 coming. To be honest,
most people know that you don't put your hope in.
So
Spurs
this week I was
against
not even
Arsenal.
expecting both
against
sides.
Chelsea, against Arsenal, you don't look at Spurs as a team to beat those two teams. But that one that happened midweek against Wolves, I think that's the
Yeah.
place where Pep knew that it was
Okay,
back for
yeah.
him. And
Yeah.
I was imagining how the group chats of the Man City team would be that night after the final whistle, because I mean the goal was scored just seconds before the final whistle, that equalizing goal by Edozie. I mean a Nigerian man doing that to us, or a man of Nigerian descent, please. Let me
his
point
and
it.
his brother
And his
formerly played
brother
for City.
formerly playing
The
for
Edozie
City,
brothers.
definitely. So yes, that's the title in England. Let's come to Nigeria, where we have a title to win for either Rivers United or the team at the top of the table. Although some people are saying that I'm rushing them, but I mean, if you are top of the table at this point in time, you are a title contender in Ikorodu City. They dropped points yesterday in Lagos, surprisingly. Sadly and surprisingly, but Rivers United also dropped points at home. When you think that they would do they'll do justice to that game against an Eimba side that is definitely a shadow of themselves in every ramification. They dropped points surprisingly at home to Eimba yesterday. Now, do you think that these people can get their Cinderella story this season, either winning the title or going to the continent, because they missed out by the whiskers last season? Talking about Ikorodu City. Felix, let me start with Felix first.
Okay.
I think it's a possibility this time around. They are better equipped after one full season experiencing the top flights in Nigerian football. They are top of the table. Like you said, surprisingly, they dropped points against Barca
surprisingly,
United.
after picking points away in Aba against Eimba.
Maximum points.
I would love to see how this one plays out. I don't know if I want Ikorodu City playing Continental, because I've seen what a Continental slot has done to some teams in the Nigerian Premier Football League. They go all about signing players in coats. Player with continental experience. He don't play for continent. He don't show Agbakara, and eventually the gel is not there among the players, and they start struggling when they fail to qualify for that continent. Those players, because they are on big salary, they start becoming like problems to
the
the
club,
management, because the management were looking, we brought you in for Continental, you could not get us to the Continental. Now you want to be collecting this same big BEM amount
for
to play NPFL, and before you know, issues behind the scenes for all of those clubs. But Ikorodu City looks like a well-structured team. Again, if they qualify for the continent, that means they would show that they have quality players that can play in top sides in the other bigger teams in the league, and even clubs outside Nigeria. So I don't know if Continental is going to be a good team for them, but listening to their owner or their chairman speak a few days back on a show, and he was talking about how they are ready. They already have players behind the scenes who they are looking to infuse into the team if the current ones actually leave. But it's good to see them. As much as I don't want to pressure them into saying they are title contenders, I would rather they be where they are now than where Remo Stars are, or where Kun Khalifa, because those are the other. United. Now I'm even looking at the privately owned teams. I would rather they are that high up, they're facing those kind of pressure of title contenders than
relegation,
flirting with relegation in the NPFL. But good one for Ikorodu City. I did not expect that they will continue the way they did from last season, but good one for them.
Okay, quickly your thoughts, Emmanuel.
They are yet to lose at home this season. One thing they've done consistently in the last couple of seasons is their home form has been really, really strong. They know how to pick points on home soil against the big guns, the Eyimbas, the Rivers United and the likes. And before this game this weekend, they've won their last 4 home games on the bounce. And now they considered first against Bayelsa United. They needed a free kick to get that late equalizer. For me, for the fact that they didn't come into the season with the target of winning the league, I think it gives them. I think they're in the whole team in the top 5 positions. I think just 2 points separates the top 5, and they are the team with less pressure of winning the title, if you ask me, because they didn't go into the season wanting to win the title. But a continental place might just be a success if they finish in that top 3 positions. It might just go on to be a success for them. And if they win the league, I mean, they take it as it comes. Who says it's not a progress as well? Because I mean, it's been a fairy tale season with the way they've progressed in the last couple of years. Being in those top 3 positions, as they were close also last season.
Yeah, they missed out.
They missed out. It was really, really a sad one for them, because I really wanted to see them on the continent, and they must have learned from. You talked about what continental football has done to some teams. I'm sure they must have learned from it, because it is one club that their eyes are everywhere. They learn, they take lessons from the phrases of other clubs as well.
They did business properly after letting go of players that prosecuted their season last season for them.
And for where they are right now this season tells you that they know what they are doing. They know their onions. They know the structure they have, and it's been working for them. I mean, you don't lose your manager, your assistant manager, and some couple of key players as well.
Even boardroom staff.
And then you are in top of the league as it stands. Yes, Rivers United have about 4 outstanding games to play, but you can't say Ikorodu City are favourite right now due to the outstanding games, even though sometimes outstanding games can be really tough.
Like I said, outstanding games, but Rivers United dropped points too yesterday.
You get, so who says
one of the games so
it's not game in hand.
No, apart from
game in hand is a game in hand.
It's not points in the bank.
Apart from saying one of the games they're expected to, I mean, at the end of the day, it's Enyimba.
Yeah.
Yes, even though we know a lot of things is happening in the club, but it's Enyimba. So maybe you want to say a draw is a fair result at the end of the day, but then you can't write off what Ikorodu City has done this season. Like I said, less pressure. We are not going to win the title. Let's enjoy the ride. Let's continue to enjoy the season. Continental football should be the target, and I want to see them play on the continent. So I'm rooting for them, and let's see how it pans out from now to the end of the season.
You always trust us to root for privately owned clubs in the studio. We are rooting for them, hoping that they would get their Cinderella story this time around. They came close last season, hoping they'll do that. Talking about continental football, we have a lot of continental football this week. Talking about playoffs that will continue, the second leg of playoffs in the Champions League. And you know what to do. If you are one of our viewers here, if you've not subscribed, please subscribe and share this particular episode. If you've subscribed before, please let us know what you think would be, or the results for the second leg of those playoffs in the comments. Let's know the teams that will make it to the round of 16 to join the other teams that qualified via direct qualification on that table. Let us know in the comments. Until we see you again next week, I did this alongside Emmanuel. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Always a pleasure.
The perfect month, it was the month of February, the month of love. But Felix is still finding. I will hope you will find it probably next month. But thank you for coming.
2027 Valentine's Day. Me and my Shima. We run the show together.
Clock it.
Clock it. I said it here.
My name is Euphoria, and I would see you in the next episode. Till we see again, enjoy yourself. I remember to subscribe on this channel if you've not done that. Till then, peace out.